So I know one of the biggest headaches for real estate agents, one of the biggest ones. I know for me, when I was a real estate agent, for those of you that are new, I used to be a real estate agent, and that's how I actually started my career in the real estate industry. But when I started as a real estate agent, one of the things that I couldn't prevent was no-shows. And I know we all experienced that. Whether we're getting a lead from one of our team, or we're at open house, met somebody, and you start off the connection really good, and then you end up scheduling that next meeting with them to go show them some property, and they don't show up for whatever reason. I know that happened to me multiple times when I was in real estate agent, and it is like really discouraging as a real estate agent, especially for somebody who is trying to get their business up and going. Like I mentioned before we started recording, some of the real estate agents on here work multiple jobs, and so especially when you are trying to be as productive as possible as a real estate agent, the last thing that you want to see is, showing up to a listing presentation or a buyer's consultation and they don't show. And so I wanted to show you all how to use one of the features within iConnect in order to prevent that. And so we're going to be going over that. We're going to be going over some video calling features, and then we have a very special guest at the end of this webinar, and he is going to be giving you all some industry knowledge specifically regarding CRMs. And so getting right into it, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. Like I mentioned, I absolutely hate no-shows, especially as a real estate agent when we're trying to be as productive as possible. Go to here. So our Geo Tracking feature within the iConnect app, I was really thinking to myself, I was like, how would I use this in order to benefit me as a real estate agent? And I really just put my real estate agent hat on, and I was telling myself, wow, if I was able to, or once I meet somebody at an open house, regardless the lead source, and I'm scheduling tours with them, so specifically on the buyer side, or listings who are looking to you representing them on the buyer side as well, how would you be able to prevent no-shows, right? And the answer is right here, geo tracking, right? Now, obviously you all are like, well, Cameron, like, well, one, first of all, what is that? What's geo tracking? And then two, how would you prevent a no-show doing that? Well, how I would do it, so let me show you all how it works first, and then I'm gonna get into how I would actually use this as a real estate agent to be as productive as possible as a real estate agent. And so, geo tracking on the real estate agent side, let me just back up here for a second. So if you all go into your app, so this is the real estate agent's app. So hold on. Every time I move my, every time I move me, there we go. Okay. So if you were to go into your app as the real estate agent side and you had an appointment. So for any of you who are scheduling appointments, either through the Wurton team or through your team, or you scheduled an appointment with the customer on the actual app itself, you're going to be able to go into your facing app, and then on your agent profile, if you scroll down to My iConnect Opportunities, that's where it's going to show all of your scheduled appointments with customers that's scheduled to go see properties with you all, or schedule a listing appointment with you. And so when you click that, it shows you all of the, obviously, opportunities that you have. And then when you click the top opportunity, the one that you're about to go on a meeting, right? This is where this dashboard would pop up, and then it would show you the live tracking at the bottom. And once you click the live tracking, if and only if you were able to get your customer onto the app and sign them up through your unique ID, this is where you can see exactly where their car is or their location when it comes to that meeting. And so now making the connection between the two. When I first seen this, I was like, oh man, like I am never not showing up to a property ever again and the buyer doesn't show. And the reason being is because obviously first, when I meet this individual, wherever I meet them, I would sell them on iConnect. Hey, look, I'm one of the few, maybe the only real estate agent in this town that has technology like this. And I'm literally on demand. When you go into this app, you search for the property that you want to search on my IDX, and then at the same time, when you find one, send it to me and go right back into the scheduling app, the way that we show you on other episodes of this ICU. And you can see exactly where I am at any time of the day, so you know as a customer that I'm actually making my way to the appointment as well. And so, but as the real estate agent, when you sell them on that app, get them onto the app, and now you're able to track their location along with them tracking your location. And so if I have an appointment coming up at 3 p.m. on Friday and it's 2:35, and I know that it takes me around 20 minutes to get to this appointment at 3 p.m., and I see that my buyer that's on the app is an hour away, obviously I'm not going to go to that appointment. What am I going to do? I'm going to call and confirm with the buyer. And I'm going to be like, hey, I just wanted to confirm our 3 p.m. And they're going to say, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot, or something came up with the kids, whatever the excuse is. Now I am not wasting time as a real estate agent driving out to a property, driving out to a property that is and the buyer's not there. And so now this is where I really, like I was mentioning before, some of the individuals on here, you guys have, either full-time jobs that you're going to. And if you're going to go to an appointment, you want to make sure that, hey, look, like I want to show up to this appointment and, I want to talk to the buyer. I want to, schedule the BAM fam if you're part of TWT, like Andrew teaches you all. And you want to, move this buyer along to end up getting into escrow. And so like this is one of the features that I absolutely love about iConnect is just that geo tracking side. I want to show you it on the customer side as well. So when you are talking to customers and you're showing them like, hey, look, you can schedule properties and you can schedule me. And hey, you see this little car? That's me. And so now as the customer where I'm at all times. On demand when on demand when your packages are about to arrive to your house, when your food's about to arrive to your house, when groceries are about to arrive to your house. Why not your real estate agent too? Why not know at all times when you schedule to go see your property that one, you scheduled an agent that you want, not that a portal wanted for you, an agent that you wanted. And at the same time, you're able to see exactly where I'm at and see that I'm actually making progress to this property and also get notifications from me as well. And so again, going back to it being a consumer-driven app, so that anything that the consumer wants, if they're getting their packages when they want them and on demand and they're getting everything on demand, then why not the real estate agent as well? And so when you all are selling the app to them, when you all are showing your customers, showing your buyers the tracking feature, this is where you could show them, hey, look, when you go into your app and once you schedule a property with me, all you have to do is click over to opportunities right there at the bottom. And then at the top, you're going to see the appointment that you made with me. And so once you click that, it's then going to take you to your dashboard. And now you could either call me, look at the information of the appointment, or right there at the bottom, as soon as you click live tracking, you're going to see me on the way to this appointment. And so again, guys, like for real estate agents to have the ability to say this, I joke around with Andrew and Annette all the time where it's like, I may consider getting my real estate agent's license again because no other agent can say this in my area. And you all, obviously benefit the benefit of being the part of the Wurton group and a part of some of the teams that we're going out to meet and getting onto the app as well. There's the benefit there where it's like, I could say I have some technology that adds value to the customer and that justifies the commissions that I'm asking them for. And so which is the differentiator for me as a real estate agent, which is the tech that I'm using in order to help them get closer to finding their dream homes. And so that's exactly how you show the buyer that's exactly where the buyer goes to find their appointment that they scheduled with the real estate agent. All right, cool. So next, I want to get into a feature that we've got into before, but I've had some real estate agents ask me where to find this as well. And this is the video calling feature. And so video calling, I have the black screen on the left that is representing the buyer. I have the agent screen on the right who is representing the agent. And I'm sorry, actually these are confused. Sorry, these are backwards. And so if you guys could imagine the other way around. So sorry. So I'm just going to switch these real quick. So the buyer is on the right and the agent is on the left. So I'm just going to switch that real quick. boom, and then boom, just to not confuse anybody. But video calling. The last thing buyers want, so obviously you're going to hear me say it, you're going to hear Andrew say it, you're going to hear Jenny say it, you're going to hear Marina say it. We're constantly thinking about the consumer behavior when it comes to transacting with real estate agents. And we're very consumer driven. And that's what we mean when we say we're consumer driven as technology, to where we are adapting to the buying behavior of a buyer or a seller and engineering this app to best serve them. And then one of the main things in the app is giving them a phenomenal real estate agent like yourself and having them have access to an on-demand real estate agent that they can choose on their time. And so getting back into it. And so when you showing the customer how to video call you, right? And so for the customer, when they go into, I think I fast forward a little bit. So when the customer goes into their app, they have the choice of, actually they see you. If you sent the unique ID to them, they're gonna see you at the top of the app. We actually have new features coming on that as well. They're gonna see you at the top of the app like you see here on the right-hand side for the buyer. And when they go ahead and click that connect here, it gives them the option to either chat with you, either through the app or through text, or the video calling or calling. Now, this calling feature, it's secure, meaning that they're not giving up their personal information if they're interviewing you as a real estate agent. And so obviously, if you've already connected with them, you already have their personal information. But for those buyers out there who are shopping around and they're still trying to get a feel of like, okay, which agent should I choose? When they come onto this app and they find you on the app, on the whatever location that you're in, this is where they, can go in there. And like I mentioned, they can either request for you to tour property virtually. I'm starting to see that a lot more often with real estate agents and their clients who are either out of state and moving in state or in a different country, and they're looking to buy investment properties within this state. This feature comes in handy because now they can find the real estate agent on here, and at the same time, they can click schedule a tour, and it could be a virtual tour. And they do that all through video calling the real estate agent. So they would select the real estate agent just like you see on the right-hand side here, and then they would click iCONNCT video call. And so now this is the first time that you're interacting with the buyer. And so they would just click that, and then as soon as they click that, you would get a notification on your side as a real estate agent, and then just like any sort of call, and then you show up there as you are both video calling each other. Like I mentioned, for those buyers who are out of state or out of the country, this is such a great feature for them scheduling a property, but it's not an in-person tour. You're not meeting them there. You are showing them virtually, hey, this is the property that you want to see. This is the condo that you want to see. And at the same time, you're having a conversation with them through the app. And so you could imagine you walking through the home, they're like, well, show me the master bedroom, show me the whatever, show me the backyard, show me the view, show me whatever it is. And then you all are the way that, if you're a part of the Warburton team, the way that they show you to, the way that they advise you to show property to the buyers. However you're doing that now, but virtually. And so that's how I would have done it. When I got out-of-state clients, when I was a real estate agent, I would have just showed them property through the virtual tour. And I'll be like, hey, look, when you're at work, like you usually are, and you're searching for property, go ahead and select the property, send it to me, and I'm going to be nearby. You can actually see me nearby that property. And when I'm there, just schedule a tour with me and I'll go in there and I'll virtually look at it for you. And so you don't have to get up out of your home. I know you're kind of like promoting laziness to the consumers, but at the same time, it's very, very convenient for them, especially if they have busy working schedules with their family as well. And so, any questions on either of those two features from anybody before we bring on our special guest? And Lainey, you can go ahead and text Andrew to come on if he doesn't know. Yes.
So I shared that with a buyer that is buying a mobile home last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And they said, oh, I cannot download it. So is this programmed to suit any device? Because, sometimes we don't know what kind of device they have.
Yes.
Even though we're telling them to download. But you say, oh, I can't download it.
Interesting. I mean, without seeing the what they're seeing, it's kind of difficult to answer that question. I do know that iConnect is compatible for iPhones and Androids. I don't think there's another device out there, like to be honest. Like I don't think there's, those are the two primary devices that people use when it comes to their cellular devices. And so so one thing that I would do, I would ask them what device are they using. And then two, I would ask them if they can screenshot what they are seeing on their end on why they cannot download the app. And then I would ask them to send that to you. And then, like I mentioned to everybody else, like go into the support on our Slack and then send that in there, and our developers will get on it ASAP.
Yeah. I do that. I think maybe it's something you need to consider. I have an Android and I'm sending to an iPhone.
Okay.
Maybe there's a problem there in between the translation.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be a problem there.
Okay.
So, that's something to look at. I'll try another one, but I thought maybe because I'm using an Android and they have an iPhone. So I'm not sure.
Yeah. The link, interesting. It may be that, or because and again, like this is very hard to troubleshoot without seeing your guys' screens. And so, sorry if I'm just giving you like general information. But yeah, when you send that link over to them, when you go to the top right-hand part of the screen and you click share that link and it goes over to the customer, whatever device that they have, like it's just being sent from your device. So your device has nothing to do with it. It's all their device. And so if they have an iPhone, yeah, they would just go in there and they would download the app based on the instruction that you gave them. And so it's going through the same process of they would land on the landing page for the real estate agent that shows their profile. It would show them the steps of downloading the app, and then they would just download the app. And so there might be an issue with their device. Maybe their device isn't updated, yeah, it's kind of hard to troubleshoot without actually seeing their app. But whatever I can advise, like whatever struggle that they're running into, and any other real estate agents that run into, customers trying to get on the app or trying to do something with the app, my biggest advice is one, be a part of the Slack support group. And I would mention to them screenshot their screen on whatever they're struggling with, and then just send that to you, and then you give it to us, and our developers will get on fixing it ASAP.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome, Jeff. Good seeing you the other day, man. Glad you like your pictures, dude.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry, did someone else have a question? Okay. So we're gonna get into our special guest today. I don't know if you guys know this guy or not. He's pretty tall, has a little bit of an accent, and he's built probably one of the best, I want to say one of the best teams in the California area. The myth, the legend, Andrew Wurton. We and him were having a conversation the other day about CRMs. Me and him were having a conversation the other day about CRMs, and he said something that just perked up my ears. He said, "Cameron, CRMs are dead." And I was like, "What? Wait, what do you mean the same CRM that every single real estate agent uses in order to keep track of their business and all of the processes? That CRM?" And so I wanted him to come on here and give us a little industry insight on CRMs and just the status of them in today's industry. And so welcome, Andrew, everybody. Welcome, Andrew Wurton. You can, Andrew, I think you're muted.
Guys, what a great
There we go.
All excited there for a minute when Cameron said that Andrew's the most built. I thought, I haven't been in the gym for a while. I don't think that's true. Then he ruined the whole thing and said, built a big team. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right.
Forgot to put that in there.
Go back to the gym, let me tell you.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah. So look, CRMs. Yeah, the structure of CRMs, in my opinion, is dead or dying. The CRMs are based on tracking, and for agents, it's about putting in a certain amount of data and then hoping that data triggers an email drip that connects with a customer somewhere down the line. I'm not saying that's not valid. We're still in a transition time with technology. So the idea that you put somebody on a property drip is huge. The idea that you set somebody on an email drip is, it's relevant, but the open rates on emails are dropping dramatically. Also, most CRMs are based around being, there are three words here I'm going to give you. Reactive, not proactive,
Mm.
and not training agents to be responsive. Let me make that really clear what I'm saying here. Customers have expectations. Why would you as an agent use a CRM? Well, number one, it's because it keeps me in touch with my clients. Theoretically, it does. Theoretically, it does because you're sending out an email to them, but open rates on emails are dropping. I personally think emails will probably be replaced in the next 10 years.
Mm.
So web-based notifications are important right now, but they're dropping in significance. Most CRMs are primarily web-based notifications or text notifications. But the TCPA laws are changing. The texting laws, communication laws are changing again in January. And the more they change, the more CRMs, including Zillow and Realtor.com, have to revalidate and regain permissions every 3 months. Starting in January. So these are major changes. You got CRMs built all the way around that you can text and email everybody anytime. And actually text and email or anytime is going away unless there's a sequence of very important permissions. So should agents set up customers on drips? Yes. Should agents set customers up on email notifications? Yes. Should the CRM provide reminders? It's their birthday and send them out a birthday email and so on. Yes, but so many millions of people have done it that the impact it had at the beginning has dropped by probably an 80 percentile. Still do it. But now you have to ask, okay, what's the next generation? What's coming up next? So, 10 years ago, how many people had how many apps on their phone? Now I've got 10 home screens of apps on my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
So apps now, you have to give permission to that app to be on your phone. You have to resubmit that permission. If there's a subscription, there's a re-agreement to the subscription. So you're not violating all those laws of being invasive, right? So we're building now into iConnect, for example, a permission sequence. We've actually built it on the admin panel that we can, through iConnect, send out reminders to customers, right? So it's going to be possible for the agents as well, that through the app, you can get a friendly prompt and a friendly reminder to keep that customer engaged. And the industry shows us that on emails, 20 to 35% of the time, a customer will open an email. Push notifications, 98% of the time, customers will see a push notification. Then the question, will they tap on it and swipe on it? That depends how important, how relevant the push notification is. So definitely from a management point of view, CRMs are primarily used by teams around the country in a reactive way. How many change the status, how many times, and how relevant was that status change? We're not really talking to team leaders here, but those of us who are team leaders all get frustrated with that. How do we get the agents to actually change the status? And when they do, is the status change accurate? Are they really showing homes? Are they really an appointment set? Did they really set a second appointment? All of that information is based on a CRM. So we're building and have built iConnect around being a proactive mechanism rather than a reactive, and being responsive rather than invasive. That's a huge distinction. We want to meet the consumer demand for people who serve them to be responsive. And so all the technology we're building in iConnect is about being responsive. The tap communicate, that the customer can create at any time, and video or voice or text communication in a secure environment. Now the agent has the chance to be responsive, and that agent can really stand out in the marketplace. So it's responsive to the intuitive need of the consumer. Does this make sense? So there's a huge distinction there between a process treating people like they're a filing cabinet and a responsive mechanism saying, you, the customer, more important than the agent. Here we are, respond to us. Here we are, here's our schedule, respond to us. Here we are in a communication channel, we'll respond to you. Agents who promote themselves as responsive rather than invasive have a chance to really corner their market. And I know in our team and in teams that we're working with around the country, they're all committed to showing a more responsive position of agents rather than an invasive position, a more transparent way of doing business. Does that make sense?
100%, 100%. Because it seems like to me that CRMs now have this responsibility. Like usually how a CRM is, it's dependent on the user of the input from the user. And it's like what I've seen, especially with AI now coming into the realm where it's already here, and different prop techs coming into the realm. Now it seems like, well, now the value of the CRM, yes, is the drip campaigns, is the, all the cadences that I can set up in order to stay in contact with my clients and get more clients and push notifications to me. But as a real estate agent who is really, really busy, hey, CRM, why don't you tell me what to do instead of me having to go in there and do all the stuff myself? Now that's like becoming a really, I want to say like smart CRM, which is one of the features that you built within iConnect, which is now it's a proactive approach. Hey, this lead hasn't been followed up with in the past 2 days. Just a reminder, click here to follow up with them. And so, yeah, it seems like that's what I gathered from what you just said.
So look, here's probably the most important thing I could say about CRM and building up a big personal business. Agents need to ask themselves, why am I using a CRM? If you're on a team, the answer to that question, if you're honest, is because if I don't use it, I won't get leads. So I'm using the CRM to get leads. So the focus on that is the agent, right? Now, let me phrase that, or let me re-answer that. Why should you use a CRM? And here it comes. Use a CRM to meet the customer's expectations. When, as an agent, we understand we're here to meet the customer's expectations, you're going to build a huge personal business off lead-based teams. The team will pass you a ton of leads. Some of the leads convert. Most of them don't. You convert enough to stay in the business. But now, if you see the CRM as an incredibly valuable tool to meet consumer expectations, then you're going to convert a lot of that business over a period of time. So then you have to ask yourself, what is the consumer expectation? Well, the consumers expect two things. One is information, and two is product. Consumers are looking for you. Yeah, I'm sure they like it when you say happy birthday, happy Christmas. What they're really looking for is information that helps them make a better decision. In our case, real estate. Information about where the market's going. A house is selling faster or slower. Should you buy? Should you sell? Where are interest rates? What's taxes? What's my tax implication if I do buy and I don't buy? What are my top closing costs? How should I decorate my home? Should I spend 70 grand prepping my house? Will I get it back out of the market? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? So this kind of information is the consumer expectation. It's the expectation on Amazon. It's the expectation on Travelocity. It's the expectation on Robinhood. Information about stocks, information about hotels, information about beaches. Does this beach have flies or not? Is the sand gritty or not? Can I, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Can I drink alcohol on the beach? Is the pool deep? Is it safe for my children? All of these things are information that the consumer wants. So when you use a CRM to meet customer expectations, that is to provide them with extraordinarily valuable information that is relevant to the consumer of 2035. Also, are you using the CRM to provide product information? Now, this brings the property drip, right? So you create a property drip. And let me get to the end of this because it's a little bit long-winded, but it's a part that's really, really important, and it's happening in our society. The consumer wants information. Second, they want product. So Travelocity, you look at a hotel, they present another way to look at other hotels. You go to Priceline, they say, hey, we've got these top 5 hotels. It's a blind guess, but take a guess and we give you one of these top 5 hotels. They say, you don't do that. Try these Airbnbs. It just goes on and on and on. So they're constantly providing you with product options. What we tend to do as agents say, this buyer wants a $600,000 house in this town. No, provide product options all around the area and the price range. So if they're looking at 4s, show them 5s and 3s. If they're looking at 500, show them 6s and 4s. If they're looking to move in 2 months, show them something that they can, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Always the bar to provide product information. Now, here it comes. So let's say you treat the CRM properly, which is to meet consumer expectations. Well, number one, you're going to succeed in our business, right? So you set up a property alert, you set up reminders more to yourself than to them, by the way, to send them valuable information. So a good use of a CRM is to create yourself a reminder for each of your clients every 2 days, every 3 days, some every 5 days, some once a month. That comes up on your dashboard. You go into your dashboard and it says, hey, Cameron's looking, don't forget. Now you communicate with that client in a way they're expecting. Some of them, if they're my age and older, they're expecting email. I only open email twice a day, right? So it's dwindling. How does that customer expect to be spoken with? Most of the time, it's on their cell device. Most of the time, that is either through Facebook Messenger, it's through some messaging system, through IG or TikTok or Snapchat. It's a messenger system, or perhaps texting if they're already in your phone, or a push notification. Okay, you say, cool. How do I do that? So the most important thing about a drip is not the fact that they're getting the drip. Remember, I said we're responsive in iConnect. It's not just that they're getting the drip. It's that you respond to them when they look at the drip. That's the key. With Amazon, they feed them product. When somebody looks at the product, bing, a bot immediately picks it up and the bot starts to interact. Well, with real estate, it's more important than buying a sweater. So they want a person to interact. You can use a bot to start the conversation, but jumping into that conversation and being responsive is crucial. Then how do you respond? Most agents immediately pick up the telephone, go, they never answer the phone. I never answer my phone. Never. If your number isn't in my phone, I don't pick it up. But you ping me, send me an FB, send me an IG, send me a TikTok, send me a Snap, send me something that flashes across my device. I probably have a 50% higher chance of responding to it, particularly if there's a piece of information in there. So bottom line, CRMs, the way we've used them, are going away. CRMs for team leaders, where team leaders just look back and go, we didn't do so well. This person didn't enter this, that person didn't enter that. It's a very old-fashioned way of viewing it. CRMs that plug the agent into a communication with the client and the client into a communication with the agent that is direct, that's huge.
100%.
iConnect, we're going to blend iConnect in with MLSs so that instead of it going MLS to Zillow, to Realtor.com, to call center, to agent, to showing, it's going to go MLS to customer, taps connect, taps to Cameron. You're in a video conference like you just showed. Bottom line.
Love it.
Informative, provide product information, set yourself up where your technology allows you to be responsive. That responsiveness that creates a proactive business, and you can build a huge business off what we do in the Wurton team, what other great teams around the country do, providing tons of leads. Take as many of those leads as you can, set them up on drips, set them up on property searches. But remember, when somebody searches, that's the time for you to be responsive. Get them to download the app. So anytime they search on your website, boom, they just tap it. They can be in video conference with you. It's a complete game changer. There's nothing like it out there. It's not just Cameron that's not like it out there. Nobody's thinking like this out there. You don't see the major portals wanting to connect people direct because they lose the 40% referral fee. And agents, unfortunately, have been used to being spoon-fed. So my mission is to encourage team leaders to train agents to be responsive and proactive through the app. Get your clients to download the app. Your face is going to come up every time they search for property. That's huge.
Yeah, 100%. I love the proactiveness aspect of what you're talking about, because so me just being a marketing nerd, I'm going to keep this, I'm not to derail this at all. But me just being a marketing nerd, I learned that there's two types of buyers out there in every market. Cars, shoes, you look at any market, there's two types of buyers. There's the buyers who are in market, meaning ready to buy right now. What Andrew is talking about, like equating this to what Andrew's talking about, I want to see properties. I'm either pre-approved or not. and I'm looking to move within the next 1, 2, 3 months, right? I'm in the market to buy right now. And usually that percentage of the market is usually around like 3 to 5%. It's a very small portion of the market. But then it makes you ask, like, well, what about the other buyer? What about the 95% of the market? Who is that? Those are the people who are out of market, who are doing exactly what Andrew's saying, which is searching for information to come to the conclusion of making that buying decision. And so it's like you hit the nail right on the head. They're looking for information and they're looking for the product once they're ready for the product. And your CRM should act in a way, and you should be working with your CRM and working with different prop tech like iCONNCT in order to accomplish giving those two things to the consumers as efficiently as possible. And so, Andrew, I actually wanted to ask you this question because I think you would answer this question very well. Thomas asked, how would you use, I believe he was talking about the Geo Tracking feature within the iCONNCT app. How would you use this feature to with never met before Zillow Flex appointments? How would you go about getting them to use the app before you meet them? Thomas asked that.
So it's a great question. So you know that I'm big on what we call a digital footprint, that before you even meet the customer. And I did this, frankly, before with referrals sent to me, with people who particularly came in from magazine ads, that as soon as that person responded to a magazine ad, just for those of you who are younger, a magazine was something you printed on paper. And it came out periodically, and you had to physically pick it up and look at it. It was out of date the minute it was printed. It was called for the internet for the younger ones of you. So if I got a call, I would get calls on Saturday morning. I knew by 9 o'clock on Saturday morning how much money I was going to make that week. Literally, I had it organized so well, right? But the minute that customer called me, I was immediately sending them information. Even when I had a pager, I was doing this. It's always been my principle. Send out information right away that the client sees that you're valuable. That is absolutely huge, right? The entire consumer marketing process is pivoted around that principle. We don't pivot on that principle. All we do is we set somebody up on a drip. We don't set them up on a drip until we've met them. And when we've met them, you know, it's a day or two later, and we're like, okay, we're done, right? But the idea of sending them data every day that informs them about their process, we were never trained to do that. So back around to Thomas's question. Once you're starting to work with somebody, say within our team, the 50 Leads program, you immediately start by sending data that is relevant to them. Data about home buying, about home selling, blogs, searches, material statistics that you find on many websites about how many homes are selling in a city in Los Angeles, how many of them are over 1 million, how many are under 1 million, how many pool homes there are in Los Angeles, how many big lot homes there are in Los Angeles. I could go on and on all day long. You're now building that information with them. Once they start to respond, it's at that point that you can start to brag and say, look, I'm part of a new generation of agents because real estate's changing. We realize you're the most important. I'm an agent on demand. You can reach me anytime. But because there's so much spam in texting, and everybody goes, amen to that, because there's so much spam in email, we've built out technology that is private to us and to you that no other salesperson can call you on. It's called iCONNCT. I'm going to send you a little video. You send them the video. They look at it. They go, this is super cool. You say, yeah, it's like the Uber of real estate. You book a driver on Uber, another driver can't steal you away. Another driver can't pitch you. You are now connected to that driver. You will now be connected to me. That's how valuable you are to me, that I give you private access to me at any time. And I'm the only realtor in the world that does that, or in your community. And I know you're saying in your head, look, I can call you and I can text you. Yes, but do you realize how many spam calls I get a day? And you're not saved in my cell phone yet. Do you know how many spam texts I get a day? And you're not saved in my cell phone yet. But now this is something where you can exclusively communicate with me. And then you send them the download.
Love it.
There was a gentleman who asked a question about if I send the link to download from the iOS platform to the Android platform, or backwards and forwards. no impact whatsoever from an engineering point of view. Your advice was excellent. Get them to screenshot and so on and so forth. What I would encourage every agent to do is don't just download your agent app. Download the customer app 5 times.
Yep.
5 times. Use a different fake email address, you know, trying iConnect at hotmail.com, trying iConnect twice at hotmail.com, trying iConnect 3 times at hotmail.com, and get those email addresses, download it 3 times. It doesn't cost you anything, and then delete them afterwards, obviously, and then just look at how the process goes. Usually, Cam, it's user error. Usually there's something wrong in the email address. There's a space in the email address. Their password didn't have the right uppercase, lowercase letters for their security, or they've already downloaded the app before and forgot. It's more than likely one of those things. It's extremely rare that we actually have a technical error with app download.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. And thank you for all that information. Yeah, that was absolutely amazing. Yeah, and this is what we want to create here at this ICU, where you all are educated on some of the features and the benefits that come along with the iConnect app, so you all can go out into the field and use it to your benefit to, you know, maybe increase your commission rates, to increase your conversion rates, or whatever it may have you that's impacting your business in a positive realm. And at the same time, equipping you all with that knowledge from industry experts. And so I appreciate it, Andrew.
You're very welcome.
Yeah. Well, for the rest of the show, we're going to conclude on, again, thank you all for being here. And then if you all have any sort of questions regarding the tech, any sort of tech issues like Jeff was talking about, feel free to go to either 2 places. One, our Slack group, and it's the support channel. Go in there, copy and paste any sort of questions you had about resolving any sort of issues. Or if you just have questions in general, you can go to our email, support@iConnect.com, and our team here will be on the receiving end of that. Or go follow us at iConnect_official on Instagram. Hope everybody has a great rest of the week. Hope you guys make a killing. Put some properties in escrow this week. How about let's do that? Let's do that. Make that our goal. New open escrow for every single person on here. That's what I want to see by the end of this. Especially you, Ron. You just got married, and so I know some commission checks would come in handy. And so
Absolutely.
I'll see you guys on Friday.